Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So I mean, I can't imagine if you were on any other season, you may not have found someone as devoted as Joe. What was it about him that made you realize he was the right person to open up to?
So the second that we hit the beach, I immediately clocked him as being the best character in this game because we get off those boats and everybody is it's the first time we can talk to each other. So you're introducing yourself. Where are you from? What do you do for a living? People are saying the key things about their lives. And the first thing that Joe says, it's not about how he's this amazing fire captain, not about his athletic career playing football in college. It's not about all these accomplishments he has. It is about how proud he is to be a father. I knew his kids' names, his wife's name before I knew anything else about him. And I clocked this as this man is an amazing person, and I wanted to work with him and have him be with me in this game.
Did you have any plans of being so open with the entire cast as well?
Going into the game, I knew that if I knew that there was a large chance that something would happen with my autism because I was going to be extremely depleted. I was going to be pushed into scenarios I've never been in before. And so I was prepared that I knew I wanted to tell one person, right? That was my strategy, that I needed one person to support me in this game, and that was Joe. But I knew that if something happened, I needed to be ready to tell everybody. And so when this did happen, I was very, very nervous because I sharing this with people, there's often mixed reactions. And I was so overwhelmingly supported by the cast that every single person was nodding along with my story. They were showing me care and support that they wanted to learn and understand about me. And so I did not expect that reaction at all. And I was so grateful for the way they did. And it's just a testament to all the amazing people I had out there. So I had not been so keen to share this information, but once I did, I felt so relieved and happy that I could be fully myself in this game.
There was a vote out, I believe it was the Mary vote out, that we got an edit that Joe was worried about himself. And you had the safety without power. Was there a conversation of maybe giving it to him or allowing him to use it?
Yeah, so they did not show they show Joe being upset in a little concerned about his safety there. And they show him going to a couple different people. They don't show his conversation with me because I was able to squelch all of this worry because that's what Joe and I were to each other, is that we were the two people who could fully trust each other. And he comes to me as he we do for every decision we would make in this game as a duo because we are a collaboration. He comes to me and we talk this out, and I lay it out to him. I lay out the numbers because I'm a numbers person. I'm an engineer, so I was like, okay, so if you are so concerned, if you believe that Mary has rallied the people to vote you out, then I can give you this safety without power, and you can exit the game. However, if or exit the tribal, if you exit the tribal, and this was not what was going on, then you are leaving it to become a tie here, that it will could fall to a 3-3. Without you here, it will tie, and they will see this as an opportunity to then make one of us switch, flip, and they can get us out of the game. I was like, this you not being here with your vote could be detrimental to the group of us. And I kind of laid this out, walked him through the strategy, and he believed me and was like, okay, I understand. I was like, if something happens at tribal council, I will give it to you and you can get out of there. But you have to believe me on this. Like, this is how this will work. And it did. And so he was not as concerned after talking to me about this, which is why no action was taken.
So this fire making is quite an intense experience, and we saw your highs and lows. Walk me through it. How does it feel to then finally win fire making?
So in episode 5, you see an autism episode that is very quick up, quick down. Happens in that short time period. This episode in the woods, this had been building over days. Because in episode 12, we saw that I lost 2 challenges. I got disqualified from one, and I would have won the second if I could have just thrown a ball straight up in the air. And so I had been building this in my head, how I was so frustrated with myself. I lose that final 5. I lose that final 4 challenge, and it's just building and building that, like, why can't I do this? I'm a failure. I'm just keep losing. And so this was tumbling and building in my head. And so it was not that I was upset that I couldn't build a fire. I know how to build a fire. I was upset because all this pressure had built on myself that I could not get my head out of this cycle. And so what you see happen in the woods, that was a very like they kind of downplayed the experience that I was going through and struggling with my autism. When Kyle and Joe are in the shelter and they hear me screaming, I was in the woods. I was stimming, I was scratching myself, I was rocking in a ball, screaming. I had become completely ungrounded. And I think that that would have been something that would have been amazing for people with autism to see themselves having this very intense moment that was 10 times more intense than what we saw in episode 5, and watch how I was able to battle back against my own brain. And yes, Joe came, he helped me, but I had to battle in my own brain first and foremost. Joe reminded me what I could do. He showed me how I could get through this, reminded me that I have the skills, I have the tools to succeed, but it's still ultimately I had to push myself to believe in myself. And I did that, and I got to that fire building, and I did it.
You really did. The game of Survivor is so heightened. In your regular life, have you experienced anything that has sort of sent you this far in these triggered moments?
I've certainly had a wide range of episodes in my life. This is something I deal with, and they've gotten fewer and further between as I've gotten older because I have different strategies to regulate, and I know how to use these practices. And this is just it's things that I've learned over time. But Survivor put me in the most depleted position of my life, that I have not been eating, I have not been sleeping, that I am in these strange high pressure situations that I've never been in before. And so yeah, it was certainly heightened, and I one of the strategies I use in my life is that I reset, and I will take a second, I will tell myself like, you're resetting, this is brand new, like I need to forget the things that are happening before. And this reset can sometimes help prevent an episode. In Survivor, a game that is go, 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 pressure all the time, all this, there is no way to reset. And we saw it physically in episode 5, where I could not stop doing the challenge to get a break, catch my breath. I had to keep going, and this high pressure, no reset, I get overwhelmed. And we see this in the game itself with this broader, slower rise episode where I there's no break from the game, no release from this pressure that's been building. I cannot reset. And then boom, I have this big episode and struggle with my autism again. And so in real life, I get to reset because I know how to use the strategy. Survivor eliminated that ability, which made it so much tougher.
Wow. Well, this final tribal, I thought you did a beautiful job laying out your game. How did it feel to you, though? What's the energy you're getting back from the jury?
So I knew that I was going to have the biggest uphill battle in this game because I had concocted this perception of myself that was false. I knew that people would see me as a physical threat from the start. I have muscles, I can't hide that. That they would see me as a social threat. I'm very charismatic, love talking to people. I can't hide my personality. But I knew that if they could see me as a strategical threat too, that I would be gone because you can't have those three things together, right? So I had to downplay my intelligence. And so I not only had to go and try to convince the jury that I was actually smart. One big thing that I had to get the hurdle I had to get them over to see me as a strategic threat in this game, not just Joe's +1 as I'd been trying to make them see me as. I had to convince them I was smart, and then beyond that, also convince them to win. And I succeeded in convincing them that I was intelligent. I fell short at convincing them that I should win, and that is on me.
Ah, well, it's not that black and white, right? There's a whole experience, lots of
Yes, if
different
there was four
people.
votes that I thought I could get, four people that I thought I could win over, and I got two of them. So I got halfway.
What has this whole experience meant for you?
Oh my, it has meant so many things. It has shown me so much about who I am, the strength that I personally have as an individual in my life, reminding myself of the things that I can accomplish, that I push through. And then beyond that, it has reminded me how much one person's vulnerability can have an impact on the world, because the response that I have received from the entire world, people who have autism, that know someone with autism, seeing my story and feeling inspired, I am so overwhelmed with happiness at the fact that I get to share my story and inspire these people. So it has meant so much to do that and represent the autism community in a way that the world's not often used to seeing. And then just the way it impacting my life in the relationships that I built. And that was my biggest weapon in this game, was my social game, and the relationships that I have with Joe, who I will forever love and know as my family member, and Kyle, who is a brother to me, that we are so close, and I call him almost every day, that we are extremely close, and that is family as well. Camilla, who I never even worked with in the game, but we're both girls with a lot of energy, loud, and women in STEM who speak their mind. And so like these people have changed my life, and that I see that Final Four is the best Final Four that I've ever seen in Survivor, and I'm proud of each of them and the games that they played. It has had a huge impact on who I am and who I want to be because I want to be like each of them in the ways that they are great.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I agree. An incredible Final Four. You were my preseason winner pick. I'm so excited to have watched you. I'm a coach for Special Olympics. I'm so happy to see your story. And it was absolutely a pleasure to talk to you today.
Yeah, thank you so much.